Hello again, and welcome to That's All Funny, the show where we talk about funny, things I think are funny. I've been, I'm gonna start ordering like mushroom coffee, that coffee that has like, bits of mushrooms in it, and I don't know if it's psychedelics, it's, all legal shit, but I don't know, I need something new. I've been drinking those like Celsius energy drinks that are non-carbonated, and I also love drinking like frappuccinos and shit, and Dunkin Donuts, Starbucks coffees, and they're not really doing anything for me. I need something, I don't know, something stronger, and see if those do anything. I had a buddy, he would grow mushrooms like the psychedelics, and I tried microdosing for a little bit, but it didn't really do anything for me. Maybe I should have kept going, and tear through the threshold of the geometric mushroom kingdom. No, I don't know, whatever you see in that other world when you take enough psychedelics. I don't really know. But I always wonder with like plants, and then seeing those time stop where the fucking plants are growing, like frame by frame really quick, or the mushrooms, how quick they grow. And I always wonder if plants like feel anything, like if they have, I always wonder if they have souls or feelings and all that. They have to, right? I mean, if you've ever read Roald Dahl, his short stories, and he's the guy who did like Matilda and Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, James the Giant Peach, was really famous children's books, but he did a lot of adult short stories. And there was one that was kind of like a Twilight Zone episode where a guy created a machine that could hear high frequencies, and it could hear plants and hear them screaming when they're getting cut. Every blade of grass, every rose, and it was, I don't know, it's pretty trippy. If you ever look up short stories by Roald Dahl, he writes some badass adult ones, especially The Sound Machine is really good. There's also one where, man, I can't remember the title of it, but where this little girl is kind of like born premature, and he starts feeding her honey, like royal jelly, what they feed the queen bees, the worker bees. That's a really good one. I don't want to spoil it for you. But, and then I think of the movie The Happening. If you've never seen it, everybody talks shit about it, about about the plants making all the humans kill themselves. And man, I remember seeing that in theaters because I was all hyped for it. I don't remember why I was so hyped for it, but I went to see it, and it legit scared me. Everyone was also making fun of it, but it really scared me. And I remember driving home at like 2 or 3 in the morning after the midnight showing, and just being scared because I could just see all the fucking trees blowing in the wind and shit, and it just like scared me, like it left a lasting effect on me. But I would say I'm not really into an actual mushroom as like a flavor, like for pizza toppings or whatever else in pasta sauces. I'm more of a carrot and potato kind of guy. Peas are always good too. Any potato, really. You go with sweet potatoes. Golden potatoes are probably the best. Sweet potatoes, I feel like they're really good, man. A good dessert type of sweet potato with a steak, that shit's fucking good. It reminds me of when I had gotten hormone therapy, and I remember them telling me that the therapy was like all natural, and it had like bits of sweet potato in it or something, like a concentrated extract from the sweet potato. And that shit was expensive. That hormone therapy was probably like $800 for one session, and it was supposed to last like 6 months. And it was like a pellet, like a really big pellet. They fucking basically made a hole into the side of my belly, like on my hip and just like injected that pellet into there. And I remember it feeling so like it didn't hurt, but the feeling of it, because they had numbed it up, but feeling all this pressure of a big old pellet just going into the side of you, and then looking there, and there's just a hole, like a pore, and it tripped me out. I don't think it helped me. I don't remember it really helping me that much. I remember just having that gaping hole on the side of my hip and thinking, man, I don't want like insect to fly into it or something. But that was an experience, But yeah, again with mushroom coffee, I think I'm gonna start just buying all these random mushroom coffees off of Amazon, or just searching up and getting like free trials up the ass, just to find a good mushroom coffee. But I do like Dunkin Donuts. Did I just say that? I do. I think I would, if I had the money. Like you always say, oh, if I won the lottery, I would want to franchise a Dunkin Donuts, because I don't think there's very many here in town. I think there's maybe two. If you look at like Starbucks, of course there's Starbucks everywhere, right? Maybe like, I don't know, like probably 20 of them in town, and then Dunkin Donuts there's like two, and everybody sleeps on Dunkin Donuts. I don't know. It's pretty damn good coffee. Of course, it's not the behemoth that is Starbucks, but I do like Dunkin Donuts, and I think it should be more around. Uh, I'd probably want to franchise a Wendy's too, just because I really like Wendy's. I think Wendy's is the superior fast food. Everybody talks about McDonald's, probably just being more convenient. I don't know, but Wendy's is just better in all aspects. And I might be biased a little because that was my first job, but I could tell you I didn't have very good experiences there as my first job. It. I remember when I applied there, driving through the window and seeing I was driving. How old was I? Maybe like 16, and driving through the drive-through with my mom, and then seeing like the woman that was helping us out, the drive-through girl. And I was like, man, she's pretty. And my mom was like, hey, he says you're pretty. And I was like, oh my god, she's fucking embarrassing me. But I remember that same woman hiring me for my first job at Wendy's. And I mean, it was just like any any fast food job. Luckily, it treated me like shit. So as soon as I did get to like a better job, it was better. But I remember there was a guy there, and his name was, I could say his name was Jesse Prado. Anyone who knows that name knows him. And he was like, he was always employee of the month. He was like SpongeBob, where he was just so fucking into his job and doing everything and being like, yes ma'am, yes ma'am, yes sir. And he had a sister, like a stepsister or something that worked there, an older one. She was a manager, and she would always get him employee of the month and shit. And he used to do this thing. He used to call it the Matrix, where he would bend back, and he would bend his back all the way down to where his like head would touch the ground. And he was a short, little, stocky dude. He looked kind of like Krillin from Dragon Ball Z. So he would do that, and everyone would clap. They'd probably like throw quarters at him if they had quarters. But he was like a party animal, and he would rowdy, get fucked up drunk, like blackout drunk, and he would be there. From what I heard, I never witnessed these at parties, because I never went out to parties. But he would be there like, hey, you want to see me do the Matrix? And he'd fucking like be on top of a table, and he'd have a shot of whatever there of alcohol, and he would just do the Matrix and grab it with his mouth backwards, and then bring it back up and drink it, And everyone just fucking like laughed at him and was entertained. And yeah, he was always getting employee of the month. And I remember recently he was dying like a horrible death. Like, I want to say one of his either a kidney or a liver failed him, and on Facebook his sisters were posting like pictures. Oh, get well soon, hermano or whatever. And he's just fucked up. Like he looked dead, like he was on life support, and they were posting fucking selfies with him. And I was like, man, this is fucked up, but it was fucking funny because it's just like so tone deaf. Like, oh, I love my brother, but he's just there like in a state that why would you want to show? You know, I wouldn't want to be shown it on my deathbed like that in the weakest state. You know, that's what people are gonna remember. So yeah, that was pretty fucking bad. But yeah, no, I still love Wendy's. Even though, you know, they treated me like shit. I think they're superior to any of those fast food places, McDonald's, Burger King. Well, okay, Whataburger's fucking good too, but I mean, you don't find Whataburger anywhere, and they kind of take too long. But whatever. Like, if you had to like a chain that's all around the world, I think Wendy's should be superior to McDonald's, and the same with Dunkin' Donuts. I think Dunkin' Donuts could surpass Starbucks. It's all just in the name and shit. But yeah, that's what I was gonna talk about today. What are you planning on trying mushroom coffee, or do you have any people that got so fucked up on their deathbeds and their family were just sharing pictures of them all over fucking Facebook and shit? That's fucked up. I'd rather just like die in privacy, you know, if I'm that fucked up where my skin's all yellow and I can't even, I don't know, whatever. But yeah, I hope your livers and kidneys are good, and why don't you go support your local Dunkin' Donuts and Wendy's and go buy something from them, because remember, Wendy's burger patties are square because they don't cut corners.